welcome again to another edition of Miongwa, and I'm actually very excited about this one. I'm here with my friend and brother, Victor Nduka. We call him colloquially Prof. You guys will find out, as everything unfolds here. So, Victor, thank you so much for making our time. I know it's really quite early on your end.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
This is a great privilege. I have been looking forward to this one for quite a while. How are you? And I know that I've already told everyone your name, but maybe if you can introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you for the privilege of being on your podcast. It's been something I've been following for quite a while, and I love what you are doing. What you are doing is really impactful. My name is Nduka Victor, before I forget that. Nduka Victor, and we've known each other for a while, and since the moment we met, our journey has always been a very, very fruitful one, whereby we just iron sharpened iron, a play of ideas, like Newman would say. So I love what you are doing. Like I told you in some of the off-the-record conversation we've always had, there is need for a documentation of stories. One thing I believe that as Nigerians that were lost over the years is that we stopped teaching history. We stopped telling our story. And that has done immense damage to our sense of nationhood, or even to crystallize or to articulate for ourselves first, then to the whole world who we are. So what you are doing, talking to people, getting stories, you will know you are archiving history. Someday somebody will dust these things up and it will be meaningful. One of the edge that the Westerners had over us when they came was that our stories were told by oral tradition. Theirs were written down in stone. And it seemed as if, by comparison, theirs is better than ours, in quotes. But it's not. So I'm just happy that people like you have taken it upon themselves to interrogate different cultures, interview different people, gather stories. It is and archive it for posterity. Wow. So the pleasure is all mine, and thank you for the opportunity on your platform. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you for those kind, encouraging words. Talking about stories, I would want to remind you, do you remember this one?
Which one is that?
Jeffrey Archer.
Oh, Jeffrey Archer. The great Jeffrey Archer.
The legendary Jeffrey Archer.
The legendary Archer.
As the crow flies.
Yes, I still have a couple.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You won't believe it. They say great minds think alike. I still have a few Archer here. You won't believe it. As if we planned it. No, he's my go-to guy.
You know what?
I love reading him.
The day we were parting ways in South Africa, you gave me this book.
Oh.
Yeah, so since 2012, I've been holding on tightly, to this book.
Yeah. Do you remember? Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Do you remember Robert? Robert, one of the guys who came to final interview with.
Yes, Robert.
Finally ended up in one of the congregations.
I remember him. Yes.
He said that on the day we parted, I gave him my blue rosary.
Oh.
All these years, he still has it.
Right.
It's immense.
Wow.
What an encounter could do. He dropped off somewhere before Lagos to take his. Then he was so devastated by the outcome.
Right.
I gave him a rosary.
Wow.
He still has it.
Wow.
All these years. No, it's immense.
It's
No.
something you do very well. And it wasn't just this book. I also remember when we met the first time in Nigeria and we parted ways, myself to Calabar, you went back to Delta. You wrote a letter. I don't have the letter here, but I used to have it somewhere. You wrote a
Okay.
letter to us, I think almost to all of us, at that time.
Yeah.
It was me and another guy called, I can't remember his name, maybe Louis. We were both in Calabar. So I'll just give a context. We've been talking about Robert Louis writing a letter, keeping a book.
That's that. Yeah. For those who, yes.
Yeah, so I met Victor for the first time in 2005. I think at that time I was 19. I was 19 years old. And this is the
that's 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yo.
We met 20. Our story started 20 years ago. And your story was actually more fascinating to us at that time. And for our viewers, we're going to venture into an area that I don't think I have had the pleasure to speak about it yet in public. But, stay with us. So 20 years ago, we met. It was in, I think, did you come to Calabar or was it in Edo State when we went for psychological tests?
I think it's Edo. I think we went together from Calabar to Edo.
Edo State, yeah. So that year, I was applying to the St. Patrick's Missionary Society. I felt that calling to become a missionary priest. And so that, started the journey in Calabar in 2005. So I was in Calabar February for the first interview. And then I also stayed in Calabar towards the end. And then we had the final interview in Ijebu-Ode. But before then, we had to go to Edo State for a psychological test, which was where we met with Victor. But after Edo State, all of us moved to our various parishes where we were posted. And Victor went home for a reason. And so I'm going to start, Victor, by asking you, the reason you went home was because you've already had that experience that, we called it at the time, pre-candidacy. You've had that experience, I think 4 years earlier or even 5. I'm not sure about the years. And maybe if you can take us through that journey for the first time you felt called to be a priest and why St. Patrick's? I'm asking the question like the Vocations director. Remember that letter?
Yes. It brings it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is years ago. So, preparing for this just gave me time to reflect and dig back into those memories and those experiences. Much of it is now, will I use the word, being seen through the eyes of in retrospect, but back then I believe it was a bit more raw and different than it will feel now. But reflecting, for me, I will say that it is what I will call the preambles of faith that I had all around me, preamble fide, whereby I am from a very, very religious family. I will say that, where we went to church every day, morning masses and stuff like that. My father went every day until he could go no more, even though he changed from being a Catholic to being a Protestant. But we're all baptized Catholics. We went to mass every Sunday at least. You must be there. And I was also from a very, very active Christian community. We did a whole lot of stuff. From my youth, we were part of the Block Rosary. I joined Legion of Mary. That had a very great influence because as a legionary of Mary, we went out for visitations and stuff like that. So basically, I would say it is those preambles of faith, that was all around me. And at the end of the day, I started thinking, you are compelled to even do more. You understand? Because one thing about when the first movement of first it is the primacy of grace, then the response is love. Just like scripture says that those who have been forgiven more, they are more generous. They when he was talking to the lady, this woman that's why he's showing much love. So first the primacy of grace, you experience that, you feel that longing, then you respond. So for me, it was, what else could I do? Then in the middle of all of that, I went to pre-science, whereby, so in 1998, before I went into the university, we had this thing called pre-science. I did that in the East. So we went to a community, and there was, as Catholics, we organized ourselves, and they appointed me catechist. You won't believe it. So it was amazing. So I was elected catechist, and I took people through sacraments. Then some students there, by the end of the year, were baptized, and the bishop came, confirmation and all of that. That experience was really, really good for me. I really felt, okay, maybe there is something here to be explored. So when the next year I actually got into university, my first year, but that seed has been planted, that nagging, the way it goes. Yeah. It doesn't go away, like St. Augustine says, that our hearts are restless. Yeah. All those things, our hearts are restless until they rest in you. So basically, so when in my first year, I started applying. I was doing first year and applying. So at the end of the day, I had interviews and all of that. And then one beautiful thing that Father Pat Corcoran did was that he said, you're already in the university, why not wait till you finish? Then my own reasoning was that I'm at the beginning of this. If I wait till I finish, I don't want to know what will happen then. But like he always does, he smiled and said that if you are called, the call will still be there, even, But he said, I believe he saw some persistence. Mm-hmm. Then he decided to give me a chance. So at the end of, but there was something he advised, which I am grateful for till today, is that he said, you need to go to university and ask for permission for deferment. I never even knew that was possible. But I investigated, it was possible, and I had to defer my admission for 1 year. So that made it possible for me. So so I think in 2000, I went to Amukoko. So I was accepted, and I went to Amukoko for my first missionary experience. So I was there at St. Matthew, Amukoko, with Father P.J. Sexton and John McMahon. Oh. Those are ancient names. I don't know where they are now. but they were diocesan priests that work closely with what is it called? With SPS. So it was very, very unique experience and all of that. So at the end of the day, there will now be, after the missionary experience, then there is now the final interview. So the panel was undecided. So the panel was undecided. They didn't say you can't move forward. So there was some sort of like a revisit. So now Corcoran told me that and said, okay, you have an opportunity now, go finish if you are still interested. So all through that while I was studying engineering in the university, I kept contact. So that was why the lag between, so I graduated 2004 and immediately, so that was why in 2005, Father Pat said I could come back and just give it another go. So we met in my second go around of this. Yeah, so basically that. So I don't, so that's my story and why. So while everybody went for their appointed parishes, I went home and we recongregated sometime later that year.
Right, absolutely.